Good morning, internet. It is it's the 21st of August. You have to excuse my voice, it's very croaky. I'll explain why in a bit. So it's the 21st of August and it's a gorgeous day. Look at that, absolutely beautiful day, apart from my throat. Before we go, look at this. See this? I got this for the seat. The reason being, a lot of people say that the seats on the Himalayan are uncomfortable. Now, I don't think they're uncomfortable, but you do slide on them. You know that dip there, and this makes the difference. And this was only cheap. This is an AliExpress special. I think it was €7. So let's see what's what. Anyway, right. Look at this. Hey, not a cloud in the sky. Now, this is only a short ride this morning because you can probably tell by my throat that I'm not feeling too good anyway. But let's get on the bike and I'll get some air around me because I'm boiling up here. And that's not because of the heat of the weather. I think that's more to do with my, oh my god, I've got a bit of a temperature. Anyway, right, so see if I've got the strength to get this off. Right, okay, we'll just put that on there. We don't particularly need that. I'm not too sure why that's coming up. Hang on a sec. It's alright. I was playing around with this, and I did actually put that here. That's it. Okay. I was put a location into that, and it thought we was going on it, which we will do sooner or later if I feel better, but not right today. Okay, so let's get this down off the stand. Oh god, I don't know. Right, slide onto my nice seat. Look at that. Now I must admit, you don't slide backwards and forwards. So it's 8 minutes past 10 in the morning, as I said. 21st of August, I think I've already said that as well. And what I'm doing is, hang on, let's just get out of here, shall we, so I don't collide with anyone. There you go. Oh, aches and pains, that's what it is, aches and pains. Right, oh, that's better. Airtex jacket on and a nice airflow. Oh. Now, I don't know whether you remember, but like I say, please excuse the voice. We've had whooping cough in our house. My kids got whooping cough, and guess what? Yeah, you're right. Me and the wife got it as well. Even though we had our vaccine straight away, we got the whooping cough. Now, okay, it's not as bad as what it could have been, I've got to be honest, but you know, as the doctor politely reminded me, the older you are, the worse it can actually be, you know. And it's crazy really. I mean, I think back to the 1960s when I was a kid, and whooping cough, you know, whooping cough was a really horrible thing. I mean, it killed loads of kids, you know. It was awful. And let me just get rid of that. Okay, there we go. I mean, it wasn't nice at all, but you know, so when you're 67 years old, oh, poor little fox there did. When you're 67 years old, you don't expect to get whooping cough, do you? You know, but yeah, there you go. Such is life. I got it, and this is really the first day for the good week and a half that I've done anything. You don't get, I mean, you get this bad cough, but obviously you don't get the whooping bit, you know. That's the poor little kids that get that, you know. So you don't get the whooping bit, but likewise it just knocks you about, you know. You feel absolutely awful, you really do. High temperature and the worst is that you can't sleep of the night because you're that busy coughing, but still, never mind. So I'd like to think that I'm on the way to repair. like I said, this is the first day that I've actually thought of doing something. You know, I just didn't want to move really, and the wife still got it quite bad. The best of it is, she's on holiday. This has been the first week of her holiday, and she's been here all week, eh? No, I don't know. Right, so this morning I'm actually going down to a little motorcycle dealership down in Himalayan. And this guy is a franchise with Daffy Moto, and Daffy Moto are something to do, only on a small scale, but there's something to do with Royal Enfield. Now, I don't know if you remember, but a few months ago, and it was probably 6 or 7 months ago now, I actually saw him about the headlight on the Himalayan, because the inside of it is really sort of fogged up and a mess, and it shouldn't be. Okay, I mean, it doesn't really make any difference to the light, but that's beside the point. It shouldn't be like that. So I went down and seen him, and he took all the details, you know, the car grid, he took pictures, and he sent it off on a warranty claim. And guess what? Royal Enfield never got back to him. So I phoned him up, and I said, well, my son did, because he doesn't speak English, and my French is absolutely useless, as we all know. And so he said, listen, he said, we'll just have to put it through again. So I got to take the bike down to him again, because he hasn't got the details anymore. A bit strange, but still. So my son's already gone. He's left on his scooter, because I do need him with me, because yeah, he needs to do the translation bit. And I don't know, maybe the ride in the fresh air made me feel a bit better as well. You never know. Excuse me while I cough. There'll be a few more of them, I'm sure. Like I said, the cough, it is, or has depleted considerably to what it was. It was awful at one stage. I just think of them poor little kids, you know, when they get it, it must be horrendous for them. And yeah. Depending on how I feel when I get down there, and I mean, it shouldn't take long. He's only got to come out. I'm not going to stand around for niceties. And we might just have a ride through Odia and see how busy that is. But to be honest with you, I think that's about it for today. Like I said, I wouldn't have normally come out yet, but it just seems such a shame, doesn't it? You know, we've had really bad weather again here. You know, this is well, yesterday afternoon the rain cleared up. And so yesterday afternoon and today so far, you know, so yeah, that's not too bad. So it's just horrible to be stuck in the house, especially when, you know, the weather's not that bad, you know, because we get such bad weather lately that really you should take every opportunity to get out. The smell of cut grass, eh? It's so nice, it really is. Anyway, so on a totally different note, I've been sort of doing some thinking. Funny, hey, you get older and you start to think, hey, I wonder why that would be, hey. So I put the Transalp up for sale the other day, which I said I'd never sell the Transalp, but you know what? Never say never, really, in it. So I put it up for sale, and the trouble is, if you was in the UK or America or Canada, you'd probably sell it easily, you know, because I mean, I'm not saying mine is the best Transalp around, but mechanically it's absolutely brilliant. And you know, anybody that follows my channel knows what's been done to it just this year alone, you know. Okay, cosmetically it's pretty damn good. It's original, mine is. It's an original Transalp. I haven't had it resprayed or touched up or anything else. It's original. So for the 30 odd year original bike, it's not going to be like it's just come out the showroom, is it? Anyway, so, but the trouble is, Europe, especially France, there is a lot of Transalps about. There really is. A lot of them are just heaps of rubbish, but there are some decent ones. And because of that, because they are, you know, in abundance, literally. The price is absolutely useless, really. You know, I mean, I'm going to be lucky, I think, to sort of get £2.5 grand for it. That's euro, but still, never mind. Such is life, eh? I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. So that's one thing that I'm going to do, and then I'm still going to have 2 bikes, but I'm toying with the idea of changing the little Meteor for something. Now, what I'm going to change it for is going to be kept classified, eh? Oh yes. Anyway, now there's a lot. Okay, I'll narrow it down to I'm 99% going to stay with Royal Enfield, because I like Royal Enfield. I do. So there's quite a choice there, really, isn't there? There's the Super Meteor, you know, there's the Interceptor, there's the Shotgun. I could go with a Hunter, although that wouldn't really make that much difference when you think about it. What else is there? There's the new Gorilla, whatever it is. I mean, you know, so there's a choice of motorcycles. Now, this isn't set in stone at all. It depends really on what happens with the Transalp. If I decide to do all this, shall I sell the Meteor privately, or do a trade-in? Probably a trade-in. You're going to get hammered, so a private sale would probably be the better one if that's the route I decide to go up. Again, the Meteor, you know, it hasn't even done 3,000 kilometres yet, and it's, you know, I mean, it's in absolutely perfect condition. Strange enough, look, here's a Transalp. Look at that one, eh? Probably the same model as mine, decent condition, not too bad. They're literally everywhere in France. You know, the French love them because it's a 600, so it meets the old criteria of the horse, you know, of the HP power. That oi, where's this geezer going here, eh? I don't know why you're backing up when nobody else is, but never mind, eh? Look at this here, look. See, they're all coming through, even though it's our right away, eh? Numpties are us. Good morning, Numpties. Yes, Numpty number 2. Looks a bit of a bruiser, doesn't he? Hey, look at me, I'm going to come through anyway. Anyway, enough of that, eh? it just gets me. It does, you know. They put signs there, and if we abided by the road signs, then you wouldn't have things like that. Okay, you know, the wagon was going to come through regardless, but everybody else trots on behind and has no respect, and that really does. It just annoys me, eh? And it gets me, you know what I mean, like the last geezer there, you know. He knows what he's doing, he shouldn't be doing, right? So he just drives through, and if you noticed, his eyes don't move. He looks straight ahead. He doesn't even, no eye contact, not at all, because he knows he's a knob. So he ain't going to look at you, you know what I mean? He knows that we're all sat there thinking, you flaming idiots. But okay, that's beside the point. Enough said. Excuse me, I've made myself cough again. I was doing rather well, actually. The wife said to me this morning, she said, you do realise if you go out with the cameras on and you're talking, you're going to be coughing more than you're talking. I said, no, I'll be fine. And not, it hasn't been too bad really, has it, so far? But yeah. So yeah, that's the plan with the bikes. Now, well, when I say a plan, it's an idea. I don't know, I'm in no rush. It's not crucial by any means whatsoever. So we shall see what we shall see. Or as Doris Day says, que sera, sera. If you remember that one, and I'm sure there's a lot out there that do. Doris Day, I do like Doris Day. She was always, I remember growing up with her films and that, and I always thought, what a lovely woman Doris Day is. Only because she hasn't long left us, has she? She hasn't long passed away, if I remember rightly. Still, a bit busier than usual this morning. Glasses are steaming up quite nicely. Time we actually move, I'm not going to be able to see a thing. We got out of there reasonably well. The visor back down. You just need, it's nice anyway, you can just get that visor one click up and you get that bit of an airflow, which isn't too bad at all. And I need it just to get some flow around my my throat, you know what I mean? It's like, ugh. Anyway, okay. It's quite sad in a way how this summer has just flitted by, you know, and it just seems to have gone so quick. And for me, I mean, this is just me on a personal note, you know, the weather, which I know a lot of us have had absolutely awful weather, but you know, first of all, I had my foot where I had that boot stuck on for 3 weeks, and then I couldn't hardly walk after that. Then I had my gout attack. Now I've had whooping cough. I mean, you know, come on, hey, what else can they throw at me, please? Hey, I'm not a bad man, I don't deserve this. I'll tell you something, getting back down to bikes, I wouldn't sell this one. I mean, I am so pleased with the way that this has ended up, you know, and I still like this bike. I still think it's a nice looking bike. I know they've got the new one with the Sherpa engine, you know, and that 450 Sherpa engine is supposed to be the dogs, it really is, you know, and you know, I can see why, but I like this. You accept this for what it is, and for me, this bike just runs, I think runs great. I really do, you know. Mine, I mean, what is it now? It's done just over 4,000 kilometres, and you know, I mean, yeah, I've done a lot to it, you know. The best thing that I did was putting that rear sprocket on. That has made this bike, well, you know, there we are, I'm doing 80 kilometres an hour at 3,500 revs, you know. Yeah, I mean, what a difference that made. The air filter, you know, just made it breathe nicely. The exhaust was a waste of time, I think. Total waste of time. In fact, I've took it off. I've put my original exhaust back on. It sounds, I think, that noise was really getting on my nerves, you know. I don't want to be making a row everywhere I go, and that was it. And you know what, when I actually put the exhaust back on this and actually listened to it, I thought to myself, do you know what, it actually sounds a beautiful sound. I mean, look at this, 80 kilometres, we're going up an hill, this is quite an hill, right? This is top gear, and she's pulling. Why do people knock this bike? Why? You know, I've never understood it. There's nothing wrong with these bikes whatsoever, eh? But still, never mind, such is life. I like it. I wouldn't get rid of this, I really wouldn't. No matter what other bike I had, I wouldn't get rid of this. The new Himalayan, I mean, I don't dislike it for what it is. I like the engine in it. I think the engine in it is absolutely superb. I don't particularly like the style of that bike. Yeah, I don't think they should have called it a Himalayan, to be honest with you, but they did. Again, that's just my opinion, you know. Right, so we're nearly here. My son would, or should be, here already. Again, everyone's struggling to park around here. They've closed that road off there, as usual, so everybody else, it's like the fun fair's there now. I can see my son there. I don't know why he's stopped out there though, but he has. Come on, my son. Right, okay. So I'm going to switch you off for a minute while I go and sort this geezer out. Okay. So I've seen the man. He's took the pictures again. And yeah, stick it in for another one to claim, eh? But I don't know. I think he's less hopeful than what I am, to be honest. Let's drop the sun visor down. Right. Have a quick look round out here, and I think I can just about put up with that one, I think. Oops, bit of clanging there, not quite knowing where I'm going. The reason why there's such a lot of traffic there, there's a fun fair there today, well, for a week I think, there every year. I've got a thing about fun fairs, I really have. I think they tend to be, to say the least, a bit of a rip-off, you know. The price that they charge for these things now is unbelievable. That place there, I don't know whether you caught that on the camera, but there's a little shop there that's opened up nice, hired out bikes, as in push bikes, and he does a roaring trade. I mean, he really does, and you know, fair play to him. Nothing like a bit of pedal power, to be fair. Although I love riding my bike, I really do, as in the push bike, but it absolutely kills my knees, and I can really do without anything else hurting at the moment. I really could. But it's certainly busy around here now than what it was. I mean, you know, we're coming really, the season's drawing to an end, 2 weeks time. All the kids go back to schools and colleges and everything else. Okay, shall we have a little, well, we'll have a little ride round the centre, shall we, just to see how busy it is. I know that's busier there because of the fun fair, but see what the actual centre's like, eh? It's not too bad. Look, I mean, it's market day as well, so that's going to increase it a bit, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the sun helps, doesn't it? Let's face it, eh? A bit of sun gets us all going. Oh, where's this cyclist going here? Oh dearie me. I know where he will be going in a minute. Whoa, just have a look where you're going, mate. You have to be so careful this time of the year around these little places, because, you know, everybody's in such a rush to get where they're going. They don't know the area. Well, mate, that was a good move, eh? I've got to be honest, eh? We got this one here that doesn't seem to know where they're going, backwards, forward or anything. He blocks the road off. Oh, I don't know. And yeah, look at this, look, the bars and that, they're still not that full. You know what I mean? It's not what you call heaving by any means. You know, yeah, okay, there are more people around, yeah, but I don't know, still not as busy as I've seen it in past years. You know, have you noticed anything you get these days electrical gives you that many notifications? You know, I mean, just switch it on and work, you know, instead of asking me, oh, what's life coming to? Talk about you got to check all the boxes, eh? But yeah, I don't know where she was going. I think she knows where she's going. I certainly don't know where she was going. Do you know, I know this sounds crazy, but I much prefer the noise of the bike with the stock exhaust on. I do. You know, that it's stupid in it, but I do. It's got that nice rumble at the back of it, you know. I wish I'd have never changed it, to be fair, but you do, don't it? You have these things, you know, and you know, I put the power range on, and to be honest with you, makes no difference to the running of it, none whatsoever. The air filter did, there's no two ways about that. When I put the air filter on, it did make a difference, and yeah, but the power range exhaust or any other exhaust, really, well, it doesn't particularly change anything, I don't think, for the running of it. It just, to me, it was just an annoying noise. I mean, some people like that, they do, you know. I don't. I think you just become a nuisance, you know. The bike just becomes a nuisance. So I'm going to pull in here because I can't see the point to keep going on and on and on. I'm not going to do the what's it, so yeah. We're going to go back this way. Look at that, lovely, how it tides out. People digging for bait, or, oops, sorry, didn't quite see them there, too busy looking at the people looking for bait. I love that cactusy thing there, see, beautiful, great. Right, well, there you go, eh? A little right, and you know what, I do actually feel a bit better now, you know, nothing like a bit of fresh air, eh? I suppose if you all sit in the same house with the same, you know, with the same viruses floating around, it doesn't do nobody any good really at all, is it? So there you go. So it will be interesting to see again with this light. Like I said, it's not that bad, but that's beside the point, you know. It shouldn't be like that, should it? You know, the light shouldn't be all discoloured on the inside. Well, it's not discoloured, it's like foggy on the inside, you know, and it shouldn't be like that at all. That little curl on the back of that. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, is there? But sitting there on a rack and holding on, no helmet, you know, which in France, that actually is illegal. Any child under the age of, I think it's 10, no, under 12, because my children had to have them on a cycle, on a push cycle, whether they're a passenger or not, they have to wear a helmet. So there you go. And I'm not trying to be, oh, you know, is she parking or is she coming out? I don't think she knows. Look at that there, look. See now that, I'm not too sure about that. Oh, there's that. Is it the gendarmes? What is that? Oh no, it's a taxi. Very much like a gendarme, that one, eh? That's a bit crafty, innit, eh? Same colours, same sort of stripes. Hey, almost had me fooled then. This is always the bit here that gets a bit where nobody seems to know where they're going. He's always going to hit that bar at the side if he's not careful. He cut that so tight. Still, never mind, eh? Definitely more traffic around than normal. One thing I haven't seen down here this year, and I've seen it so many times here, is road rage. You know? And I mean, I don't really get it myself. Yeah, okay. I have my little grumbles to myself, which is then passed on to you guys because I'm sort of talking to you, but I don't shout. But I mean, if I'm severely cut up, which basically you can avoid a lot of that yourself by sort of, you know, by pre-looking in front, you know, you can sort of sort that out a lot. But I don't bawl and shout at people because at the end of the day it's not really worth it, is it? I mean, what difference does it really make apart from everyone gets agitated and tempers flare, and anyway. But I've seen it such a lot down here, especially this bit here, look, because a lot of people like to park here and sort of, you know, look over the harbour. I mean, we park here, you know, when we come down, and you know, someone's trying to park here and someone, you know, they block the road for a bit, which, I mean, come on, it's no big deal, is it? Let's be honest, you know. And then people start getting the windows down and bawling at the one that's trying to park, and oh dearie me, and before you know it they're out in the road, you know. Oh dear. And you just look at them, think to yourself, seriously, all over the bit of, you know, just a few minutes, just give the guy a couple of minutes to park, you know, and it's all sort of done and dusted, innit? Temperature, I haven't checked the temperature today. I forgot being on the Himalayan. Where are we? Right, it's saying 24 degrees. So if we could, yeah, 21, 22, yeah, which is pleasant. This is pleasant. I mean, I got my Airtex jacket on, you know. This is really nice, you know, because one thing with this virusy thing, you get hot, you know. You feel like someone's dropped you in a pan of boiling water, and it's horrible, you know. You just, you know what it's like, you know, when you get a bit of a temperature and you can't cool down. Oh dear. So to be fair, you know, this has been nice. This has, you know, this has made a difference, you know. Now, but getting back to the Himalayan, I think, and again this is just my personal opinion, I think that these bikes I mean, I don't know why Royal Enfield. I mean, I've got a huge respect to Royal Enfield bikes. I really have. You know, right from we're talking the original Enfield, made just outside of Birmingham, Redditch, which was where I used to live, and right up to modern day. They listen. You know, the guys at Royal Enfield, they take note of what people say, what people ask for, you know. And you know, when the first Himalayans came out, which I think it was it 2015 or 16? I mean, Itchy Boots had one of the first ones, didn't she? Okay, it had its teething problems, but they listened, you know. And I mean, this one that I've got, this is the Euro 5, so this, I think I'd be right in saying that this was the last one, sort of. There wasn't any modifications made after this one. And to be fair, you know, I've never found this bike to be, yeah, there's silly niggly little bits that I've done, you know, but again, you know, I think Royal Enfield are listening, you know. They're getting their act together, and there's no two ways about it now. If you look at some of the bikes that they're bringing out, they are game changers. They really are, you know. One thing I do like is that they still haven't dropped that single cylinder, and for me, I think that's a good thing, you know. Yeah, okay, they've got the Interceptor, which is a twin, the Shotgun's a twin, the Super Meteor's a twin, but you've got the Himalayan now, the new one, that's a single still. The Gorilla or whatever it is, that's a single. And that new Sherpa engine, which is fitted in those two, you know, I've been doing a bit of research into it, watching rides. It's a cracking engine, you know. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're getting it pretty well to sort of get that, you know. There's me trying to put my visor up, and it's up. Oh God, too much medication. And anyway, and I really think that, you know, I mean, okay, you've got this, is it CF Moto? Now I've looked at them, and again, we're all entitled to our own points of view, yeah. So before anybody jumps down my throat, I personally don't like them. I don't. I think the one that the is it the 450, you know, the sort of, you know, trial-y bike bit, I think it looks horrible. I really do. And I saw something on YouTube, and I don't watch many videos on that because I have absolutely no interest in it whatsoever, but they're already finding that there's water gets in the frame, you know. Now, if that would have been Royal Enfield, oh my God, they'd be all over it. What a load of rubbish and everything else. But hey-ho, that's sort of, whoa, let's keep this one, eh? And yeah, so I don't know. I think maybe that I'm not saying they're a bad bike. I don't know much about them. I really don't, and I have no real interest to find out. But I still like Royal Enfield. I really do. I like their bikes, and that's why if I do sell the Transalp and the Little Meteor, then it will be replaced by a Royal Enfield. Again, which one, you know? Again, you've got to buy a bike that suits you, haven't you? I mean, I came from an 1150 RT BMW, and I downsized because that was, I mean, I love that bike, you know. I did that. I absolutely love that bike. And as we get older it gets heavier. Okay, when you're actually riding it that's fine, but moving it around it was becoming a bit of a liability, you know. Simple things like getting it up on the ramp to work on it was, you know, you know your limits. I mean, I'm not weak by any means, you know, and for my age I'm reasonably fit, so, but even so you do have to face up to the fact that, you know, as you get older, you know, tasks become more difficult. So yeah, I downsized, you know, to the Suzuki. I had the Bandit, 650 Bandit, and I mean, in my mind, still an absolutely brilliant bike. Indestructible engine. If you look after that, I mean, you've got a bike take you anywhere. Look at Lavi and Ollie. They went round the world on one. Okay, had its little downfalls, but hey ho, more than entitled to. Nothing major by any means. Excellent bike. But then I wanted something really manageable, you know, what with me knees and me back and me gout and everything else. And I just, to be fair, I just fancied something new, you know. And that's when I started to look around, and that's how I got into Royal Enfield, to be honest with you. It ticked all the boxes that I wanted a bike for, you know. One of the main ones being for me was being able to work on it yourself. I mean, it's great, and I still stand by that. So yeah, I will stay with Royal Enfield. Should I change anything, I will stay with Royal Enfield. And again, you know, like I said, so I got to buy a bike for my needs. Now this one that I'm riding on today, the Himalayan, this is brilliant. This is a go anywhere, do anything bike, okay? You're not going to get on the motorway and cruise at 130, but there again, I have no desire or interest to do that anymore, none whatsoever. So this is great for me. If I want to go camping, I can get all my kit on this. If I want to go away, I put the boxes on, I can get all my clothes in. This does what I want it to do, so it's a brilliant bike. The only downfall, and I've said this before, with this bike, for people who are of a mature side of age, did you like the way I put that, eh? It is one of the most awkwardest bikes to get on and off. It really is, because it's a short wheel bike, and yeah, it is an awkward bike. I mean, I stand on the peg, getting on and off, I do, you know, but yeah, I mean, so that's the only criticism of this bike that I'd have. Where the little Meteor, I mean, that is a doddle to get on and off. I mean, you couldn't ask for an easier bike. That is just brilliant, you know. Yeah, it's great, and it's comfortable. Got a lovely wide seat on it. Brilliant bike. The only criticism of the Meteor that I would have is that I bought the Meteor to ride around here. It's great for that, you know, around these roads and that. Absolutely brilliant. I love it to bits. Take it, if I want to go, say I don't know, say I wanted to go and meet my mate down in Narn to Summit, you know, and I ride around there, or I go up to see Pete, you know, which I met last year, and we're on about meeting up in September, hopefully. You know, maybe a little bit more grunt would be nice, but apart from that, I love that bike, you know. It's a great bike. So for me, looking at changing the bikes, thinking, well, you know, what sort of bike would I have? So I want an easy get on and off bike. Yeah, that's what I want for the starter. I want a manageable bike. It's got to be fairly light. Now, Royal Enfield, throughout all their bikes, it doesn't matter which model you choose, if you compare it to a competitor, they're always heavier. They are. They're a heavier bike, so you got to accept that fact. So I mean, I think the heaviest one is probably, well, I would say it's between the Supernova, the Supernova, look at me, now with, hey, dearie me, the Super Meteor and the Shotgun, I would think, probably closely followed by the Interceptor. Now, I don't know, so, and the new Himalayan, although that doesn't interest me, basically because it's a Himalayan is why it doesn't interest me, but from what I can gather, or from what I've heard anyway, that is quite a heavy bike, you know. It weighs in a quite a heavy bike, so you know, but like I say, that doesn't interest me now. So when you come down to the next one, the 450 engine in a gorilla or whatever you want to call it, now that ticks a lot of boxes, that really does, because it's got that new Sherpa engine, which, you know, that is a nice bit of kit. There's no two ways about it. It's a nice engine, and it's low and it's reasonably light. So am I giving away any hints here? I don't know, I really don't know. It's a 450 engine, it's very torquey, and it's very, aye, here we go, many lycra, let's go lads, off we go. Hey, fair play to them. Hey, I love them, I do honestly. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's certainly one that I'd like to look at. I might have a little jaunt up. Again, this is what gets me. Royal Enfield dealerships are few and far between. The one that I got this one from, which is, it's okay, it's only an hour and a half from me. I don't particularly like the shop, and I won't be going back there. So the next one is the Lorient, and which is about 2.5 hours from me. So I think I'm going to have a trip out, and I'd like to see this new Gorilla. I really would, and see what it's like. Who knows, eh? Who knows? But like I said, I love this bike. I am so happy that I got this bike. I like it even more, like I said, now I've took the exhaust off. This bike runs absolutely gorgeous, it really does. And you know, I mean, I maintain this above its schedules, because it's my bike and I know it will last, you know. And that's without me changing the cam, which I probably won't. I don't see the reason to in this bike. I was thinking about it prior to doing that back sprocket. I really don't see the need for it now. I haven't changed the tappets on it because I can't see the point. There's nothing wrong with mine. So yeah, I mean, I just look after it. I think if you look after it, it's fine. I don't know, but I'm certainly not going to sell this bike. You know, this is a keeper. I like this bike. It does exactly what I want it to do. This rides beautifully now, and I really do think that I think that these were, well, they're a cult bike, you know. And I don't know, this is what I was touching on earlier, and somehow I got waylaid, which isn't unusual for me, is it? But I think Royal Enfield made a mistake in stopping these. I really do. Yes, I know people wanted something with a bit more grunt, and I get that, but this bike seems such a shame that it was stopped, you know, because I can see these bikes in the future being well worth a collector's item. I really can. Yeah, I you know, maybe I'm wrong, eh? Maybe I'm wrong, But I don't know, I think if you've got one of these and you keep it in nice nick and you look after it, I reckon in a few years time you're going to have something that's, you know, people are going to want, because these bikes have got a big following. Anyway, right, as you can see, we are back home. I hope you enjoyed this little ride. It certainly done me some good. I know it wasn't exactly the most interesting thing yet, but there you go. Right, okay, well listen, I hope you're all well. I hope you've got this lovely weather. I hope you're out on your bikes. Whatever you're going to do, stay safe, ride safe, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Bye for now.